Nearly hit that wrong. Good evening and welcome to the United Stand. Yeah, I've done that before with the audio, you know. I've gone live for 2 minutes, not realised, and something just popped into the head there, and it was a genius stroke by me, but the audio is working, thank God. How are you all doing? Very happy. Slightly later if you're watching live on a Sunday night, I know, I'm sorry for that, but, well, I don't apologise for that. Manchester United played slightly later last night, tonight, and we've pushed everything back a bit, so... some of you might prefer the slightly later show. I know the global support prefers it when we do it a little bit later. So we're actually not 4 minutes late, Josh. We're an hour and 4 minutes late. So live comments are up. Don't worry about that. And I'm on it like a car bonnet. Even got the trophy with me, which is great. Stephen is calling me, but he's going to have to wait because I did say 5 minutes time, Stephen, and I'm not ready for you yet. Jose Mourinho demands more is where we're going to start off with. But I just wanted to say that we had Storm Doris last week. We've now got floods in Liverpool, floods of tears, and they taste bitter like lemon because I just love it. I love it as if comments like you didn't deserve it or Southampton were robbed are going to make any difference in the history books. Any difference at all. The League Cup history books will say Manchester United champions 2017. And I have no sympathy for Southampton. They do, like I said in the live match reaction, remind me of Arsenal and Liverpool because they can play good football, but they don't win anything. If you haven't got that backbone to actually go and win something, it's a difference. I mean, I'm old enough, I'm sure a lot of you are. I've seen players and teams that play really well, but they ultimately don't win anything because they haven't got that winning mentality within them to go and win a game. We were 2-0 up today. Probably didn't deserve it, but we were 2-0 up. Southampton got back to 2-2. The momentum's with them. And instead of buckling like a lot of teams do, we actually went up a level and we fought back to get back on that game. And it was, for the last half an hour, it was a level game. And we took the chance and we won the game. So there is no sympathy or bad luck. We won the game. And also, a very good point to make is, of course, Southampton are going to be a lot better and a lot quicker than us. They've had 2 weeks off. We've had 3 days off and played 4 or 5 games within that time. So it does need to be taken notice of. But the show is Jose Mourinho demands more. A lot of people, I've been ignoring all the bitter stuff, even though it makes me laugh. Mourinho, a lot of people saying, well, he looked quite miserable at the end and this, that and the other. Good. I embrace that because he will have seen exactly what we all seen. And I don't want to be negative about players. I'm happy. Oh, I must just say we're opening this up tonight. I don't have a guest. We've dispensed with that. I'm opening it up on Skype Garbage for people to Skype in, and I've got a couple of people who are going to Skype in, so you can do that if you want to. But Mourinho probably saw exactly what we saw, and that was not a very good first half, some poor individual performances, people not turning up, but we still won. We got through it, we fought, and we won playing badly, but he isn't going to be... I'm glad that he's not on the touchline jumping up and down and running down the pitch sliding on his knees because the League Cup, it's nice. We went into that tournament, we won our way to the final and we won the final. It was there, we didn't bottle it, we did it. We didn't put kids out, we did it. And we won it and we've got a trophy. Now we move on. And I just think I detect that from Mourinho and I also detect that he wants more. He does. Well, I don't detect it, it's bloody obvious. He wants more from these players. There is more to be given. And maybe he didn't look absolutely ecstatic at the end of the game, but that's because he will have seen his players not perform the way he wants to do it. He will have seen Southampton play very well and know that on another day a more clinical side would have put us away, and they would have done. But he still had the brilliance to change it at half-time, that it needed to be changed, and we fought back into it. And Zlatan, Gary Neville said it and he was right, we haven't had a captain like that. Well, he's not the captain, but we haven't had a leader like that at the club since Roy Keane. And there was a time tonight when I was in between doing these 2 shows, the watch along and this tonight, where I was sat thinking, you know what? The sum of our parts isn't that good today. No Mkhitaryan, Pogba didn't turn up, Martial, Lingard, Mata disappointing, Pogba obviously disappointing, the back 4 disappointing. Zlatan, what a signing he's been, because he is the difference. And I'm not saying he's the reason we won, but he is because of the goals. But imagine we never got Zlatan and we had Wayne Rooney up front today. With all due respect to Wayne Rooney, we would have lost that game. Zlatan's just what he is, that leadership, that will to win. He's just on another level and he probably deserves Player of the Year. He probably does. I heard somebody mentioning that today. He probably won't get it, but I think he deserves Player of the Year. Over the season, he's been more consistent than anybody, and he deserves it. And people will say Hazard and Costa, but what have Chelsea done apart from the league? And they've been bad at times. He's done it all over in difficult circumstances. So I think he's been fantastic. I am going to get Stephen on. I just want to, let's do it. Okay, Stephen, can you hear me?
Hi, mate. Yeah, I can hear you.
Good. I was just about to bring in another point. The whole point of the show tonight really is to grab everybody's thoughts, but move a little bit on from the cup final, because I do believe that that's what Manchester United need to do now. We've won that, we park it, we go for the next thing now, and it's league next week. But I don't know whether you saw Jose Mourinho's interview with Sky. It was out, I think it came out this morning, and basically some very telling things that a lot of people may not have picked up on, and that is that Mourinho basically saying, and we saw that in the game today, I think, that this team, basically, let me get to the bit that will lead into the next bit. He basically said that 2 or 3 players are going to come in the summer that will make this side better than what it is now. He knows who they are, they know who they are, and he wants them deals done quickly at the start of the summer so he can embed them into the team. Now, he was then asked, once you've got those 3 players, will Manchester United then be ready to win titles and the Champions League? And he said, no. They might be. We'll be better equipped, but we might not be ready yet. So, maybe he's boxing a little bit clever there. But I was just saying there before you came on, I don't know whether you heard it, some people not happy that Mourinho looked a little bit miserable, but I totally understand that. I don't know what you think.
I don't know. He kind of had a face on him like a man who just realised he'd forgotten his wife's birthday. He looked... I can understand a little bit of why he... we didn't play that well, and as he said, it could have easily gone into extra time. But at the same time, how many times with United, with Ferguson, did we have games just like that where we won it? And I know people will complain about us going on about the Ferguson years, but the reality is we won so many trophies under Ferguson where that's almost part of being a United fan. Those 87th minute winners where you're absolutely elated, they come from having half an hour of absolutely bricking it, thinking, oh crap, we're going to throw it away. But so on the back of that, I think he could have looked a little bit more happy at the point where he lifted the trophy. But at the same time, Mourinho doesn't do anything by accident. He's a PR master and kind of knows what he's doing. I think he's not looked that happy the whole time he's been at United. And I think as a fan, I want to know he's enjoying it and not just, putting in the hours and picking up a paycheck. So, yeah, I can understand why he looked a little bit morose. But at the same time, a little bit more enthusiasm might have gone down well.
No, and fair enough for you to say that. I mean, what I would say is I don't disagree with what you said there, but I've never had a problem with the fact that he's not running up and down the touchline, with his shirt off, because it's different. He's been very open about that this club has got the best fans he's ever been at, out of all the clubs, and it's the biggest club he's ever been at. And I think it's a combination of things. I think it's a combination of he doesn't want to disrespect the club. I mean, when you're at Chelsea, with all due respect, it's a mercenary club that's been bought, and you can be bigger than that club. Real Madrid, they're just horrible. Their fans are horrible. They boo they boo people like Casillas. So why should you respect it? But at Manchester United, I think he's definitely gone in with that level of respect. But also, I think he's under massive amounts of pressure as well. He's got the press waiting for him to fail. He failed massively within this league only a year ago. He's done things like dropping Rooney and he's been attacked by ex-professionals of the club and stuff like that. So they're all coming round now, but I think it's not been that easy. And also, the biggest thing, I think when he picks that League Cup up today, he's like, yes, job done. We entered this tournament because we were put in it. We've beaten all the teams in front of us. We've won it. Now we go for the things that are really going to matter. Because ultimately, the League Cup, it's a nice bit of silverware. It's great for the fans. We've really enjoyed it. But the real work starts now.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about, as are probably most United fans, about the next run of fixtures. I mean, the first bit of the game, we looked absolutely knackered. I mean, they just didn't look like they were at the races. And when we got the second goal, I was to be honest, a little bit surprised because I didn't feel like it was coming. But then for us to have given away 2 goals as quickly as we did defensively, we were pretty poor. And at the rate we're going, the amount of fixtures we have, something's got to give at some point. We can't throw anything away. We can't do that. But then at the same time, the league and Europa, I'm just really worried that we're gonna go for both and get neither. And that's sorry, my dog's literally just been sick. Oh. Brilliant. I look forward to cleaning that up. Okay.
Obviously a Southampton fan.
Yeah, maybe he is actually. But there we go. I think it's brilliant today. Always, as a United fan, you always say on the United stand, it's not just about the money. We want to win silverware, and I love that we went for the trophy, and I love that Mourinho knows what he's doing. On probably about 70 minutes, I'll admit I thought, right, Zlatan's got one, but get him off now because he looks tired. And
I'm past that now. I probably would have thought the same of you a couple of months ago, but I've just seen what happens when and why he keeps him on, and obviously, really can't score that goal.
No, exactly. And I think, as a side note, credit to Lingard today. I mean, he's been pretty much anonymous for most of the season, but big stages twice now. He's done it. Goal and assist today. Winning goal in the FA Cup. I'm as put off by all the fanning around on social media and the dancing. But I've been waiting so long for him to bring out a standout performance, and he's had so many opportunities. Like Blackburn, he should have thought, right, here's my chance to just show people what I can do, and he didn't do it. And I think we're all waiting, and it's game after game. We're thinking, come on, show something. And time after time, he hasn't done it. But today, I think he was good, and probably 7.5 out of 10. He wasn't phenomenal, but when it mattered, he pulled it out of the bag. But Zlatan, he could not score another goal for the rest of the season, and he's already earned the right to stay on for every game, because 26 goals at the age of 35 is ridiculous, and we need to get his signature for next season ASAP. I've got some thoughts on what we should do to support the squad in the summer, but I think we definitely need Zlatan next year.
Okay, Stephen, I'm going to try and get a few more on tonight, but thanks as ever for calling in. I'll let you go and feed your dog, clean your dog's sick up.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Cheers, Stephen. Thanks for calling, and we'll get you on again soon.
Thanks, pal. Nice one.
Ta-da. I just wanted to have a look at some of the comments there. Poker face, somebody said about Mourinho, which I think is perfect. And Dragon Gaming 1, we must rotate the squad. Mourinho needs to realise that otherwise we can't win anything. And do you think Jose will rotate the squad, says Shaka Phillips? Probably not. I mean, you could say tonight, in the safety that we've won a trophy, that why did we pick the first team in midweek? We were really tired in that game, and I think Mourinho probably looked a little bit glum because we could have lost that game today, but Southampton weren't clinical, and I don't think we had another gear to go up. I think we were only going to ever grind that result out today, and it was fantastic, absolutely brilliant. I mean, somebody just said there, your reaction to the winning goal by Zlatan was fantastic. I'll have to watch it back myself because I can't remember. I imagine it was just sheer elation like every Manchester United fan. But I don't think we had the legs to go up another couple of gears. So I agree we need to use the squads. I agree with Stephen that I do have concerns about whether we can do the League and the Europa League. And if you've been watching the United stand long enough, you'll know I've been saying this since September. You can't do both. I hope I'm proved wrong. I really do. And I think this team is proving us wrong. They are definitely proving us wrong. We've got Bournemouth next Saturday. Just to what Stephen was on about there. There's an international break at the end of March. And by that time, we'll have a really good idea of what's going to happen to our season, because we've got Bournemouth on Saturday. We've then got the first leg against FC Rostov on the Thursday. Then the following Monday, we've got Chelsea away in the FA Cup. Then we've got the home leg against FC Rostov on the Thursday after that. And then the Sunday, we've got Middlesbrough away. Now, we can't actually afford to lose any of those games. In fact, one of the only game we could probably afford to lose is the away game against FC Rostov, because then we can get it back in the home leg. But we lose to Chelsea, we're out of the FA Cup. We lose to Bournemouth or draw or Middlesbrough in the league games, and we've got massive problems trying to get top 4. So effectively, we've got, as tired as we may be, we've got to go and win 5 or 6 games before the international break, and then April is a bloody nightmare, and May is as well. It's like 10 games in 30 days, so it is massively, massively difficult. But that's to talk about another day. We do need to use the squad, in short. I definitely agree with that, and it needs to demand more from the players. But we have got, Schweinsteiger wasn't on the bench today. Obviously, Luke Shaw wasn't on the bench. You've still got people like Fosu Mensah. I'm trying to think who else wasn't on the bench who is a major player. Obviously, Mkhitaryan to come back. So it's going to be very, very difficult. And those fans who say, oh, we're just going to win everything, you probably didn't see 1999, what it's like. It doesn't matter how good your players are. When the games come thick and fast, things like today happen. Fatigue. You can only play up to third gear. We were in third gear all game today, and we won the game through sheer grit and determination because we couldn't go to 4th and 5th. For whatever reason, tiredness, lethargy, that's the same thing, by the way, we couldn't do it. Southampton were probably playing gear 4 and 5 the whole game, and they were fit and ready. We couldn't do that, but we still grinded the result out. So, I'm over the moon with it. But I think Jose does look at that team and realise that, there's more. There's definitely more to be given. The 2 or 3 signings are very interesting. I knew a lot of people would pick up on that. He said it. He said 2 or 3 signings this summer are what I need to take us up to the next level. There won't be loads of people leaving. That's not going to happen, but we do need 2 or 3 players to come in. I think Rooney will go. I think even today felt like Rooney would go. He did lift the trophy without playing 1 minute, but he is the club captain, and I think he sort of reminds me a bit of the Gary Nevilles and that when they're coming towards the end. Not at the end of his career, just the end of the time at Manchester United. You're picking up the trophy as the club captain, but you're not really contributing. So I think Rooney will be one who goes in the summer. You could say maybe Michael Carrick, but Carrick, despite, I'm consistent about Carrick. I think he's fantastic, but over the last month or so, people have said, "Oh, we don't need Carrick anymore." Herrera and Pogba started the game today. A lot of people say all you need is Herrera and Pogba. Well, obviously that's not good enough because Southampton were running that midfield. In part because I think Jesse Lingard at number 10 was just a tactical nightmare. If you're going to play Lingard, play him on the right and put Mata at 10. I don't know why we didn't do that. But Carrick comes on. It took 15 minutes for him to grab hold of that midfield because he's got to start pulling his defence into position and sorting the people out ahead of him. But the last half an hour of the game, he had that midfield and he was fantastic. So, but maybe Carrick will go. The 2 or 3 that come in, I don't know who they're going to be. I do have a little flutter. I did quite well today, actually. Oh, and thanks for everybody who messaged me. The Bet21 thing that we had, the sign-up, Zlatan, 10-1 to score at any time. A lot of people messaging me saying thanks for that. I told you it was too good to miss. But the 3 signings, Griezmann, Kessie, Manolas is what I would like. Manolas is a centre-back at Roma. Kessie is a midfield destroyer at Atalanta. And he's only about 20. And Griezmann is Griezmann. So those 3, you know what? Cash back. I'll walk away very, very happy. But I don't know whether it will be that 3. It's never that simple, is it? But we will see. Some rumours about De Gea for Ronaldo this summer, says Stephen Hayes. My understanding is that Mourinho and Ronaldo don't get on. Little swig of beer. We're celebrating. But what about this? Ronaldo could come and do what Zlatan does for us. So, you never know. Lynn Hall says that Sir Jose wants to beat Sir Alex Ferguson's record in the League Cup now. 1 more to hold the record on his own, unless Sir Alex decides to return. De Gea didn't lift the bloody cup, says Football Highlights TV. I didn't notice that. Laporte, Griezmann and Matuidi, says Indy Tagger. Same sort of thing, isn't it? It's a midfield destroyer, it's Griezmann and a centre-back. So I'd agree with that. Although one very interesting thing today, I don't really want to analyse any of the players' performance at all. It's a positive day. We've won a trophy. We know we didn't play well. We know Southampton were the better footballing side, but we deserve to win it because we grafted a result. And 15 days off against 3 days. Of course they're going to be sharper and better than us. Of course they are. So I think we've got to be positive. It's a team. We win as a team, we lose as a team, and we won as a team today. But one of the things I would say, and he's been fantastic all season, Valencia got put on toast today, didn't he, by Redmond? He was very, very impressive. And sometimes that's going to happen. It doesn't matter who you are. But defensively, we did struggle a bit today. Let's have a look what else people are saying. Shaka Phillips is on about Saul Niguez, who is a good signing. Oh God. Hamza says, you slightly resemble Arya Stark from Game of Thrones. I don't know what you're seeing, mate, but you need to stop sniffing it. We should sign Griezmann and Neymar, says Maya. Neymar. Right, we've had a contribution here from Richard Stainer. Thanks for the $5, pal. You can contribute through the super chat if you want. We will definitely read your comments out if you do, as a thank you for you contributing. He said, we won today and we can win both Europa and finish top 4. Not liking negativity. Leave Lingard alone. He does a job and he does a well for a squad player. I don't know what show you're watching, Richard, because nobody's been negative tonight. We've had Stephen on. He was very positive. I've not said anything negative about anybody. I said back in September I don't think we can win the Europa League and finish top 4 because I think it's very, very hard to do it. I really, really hope I'm wrong. I want to win the Europa League. I'm loving the fact that we're in Europe. As for leaving Lingard alone, I don't know whether people are saying it in the live comments, but Stephen actually said he was very impressed with his performance today. He always scores at Wembley. You can't knock at him for playing, but him as the number 10 is not his fault. And Southampton were cutting through as like a hot knife through butter because he's not a number 10. And Pogba and Herrera were getting overrun. As soon as and Lingard wasn't taken off. Lingard was put to the right. Carrick came in. Mata went off, and we got hold of the midfield. So I'm not having a pop at Lingard. I mean, I don't really rate Lingard. He's a decent squad player, but there you go. Rugby says we've got over 1,000 people watching and we've only got 198 likes. Can we get some more likes? Please drop a like on the video if you enjoyed the content, and let's get Sander on. Let's go see what he's got to say. Hi Sander, you alright?
Hello Mark, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. What do you want to talk about?
Well, firstly, I was all dressed up earlier today. I had my shirt on, my blazer on. I've got Marcus to back me up on that. I was really excited. I go onto United stand. No, Draughty's not having any of it. He's put me right in it. Anyway, no, but I understand though. It's all right. Right, I just wanted to talk about how, it's very clear now that Jose is very aware of the problem with fatigue and, very aware about the problem with fatigue. So it'd be very interesting now to see whether he actually does go and rotate the squad and use the youth. So if he doesn't, I think he's very stupid because he's clearly seen today that what he did in terms of using the squad, using the first team on Wednesday, he saw that has had effect on the team. So if he doesn't now use the youth, I think he'd be a very stupid guy. It'd be interesting to see what happens with that. And with on the same lines as Jose, I like him being unhappy. Well, not unhappy, but I like him being hungry for more in a sense. It shows he wants more, and it shows also that he's not just happy with the result. It's the performance he cares about as well. And us as United fans, that's what we cry out for. We cry out for the performance and the attacking football. We don't just want the result. We don't want just defensive football. And just quickly, let me clear up my pre-match negativity. People have been saying, "Oh, Sander, you're negative, etc., etc." I didn't like the attitude of people going into it saying the cup is basically ours. And I saw people going, "Oh, it's our cup. We've won it. I think, look, Southampton aren't mugs. They've got to the position where they are. They've beat Liverpool over 2 legs, so they aren't a pushover. So I just thought, let's be very careful. Carrick isn't starting, and he's very influential for our team. I just wanted, I had a bad feeling about it. And as we saw, it wasn't going very well until the 87th minute. So, that's what that is. And second to finally, I know you want me to keep it short, but I just wanted to say I quite like Lingard's dancing, etc. And I know that's going to piss off so many people, but I just think it appeals to the younger generation. I don't know about anyone else my age. I'm 16, and I quite like it. Social network, social media is a massive part of mine and everyone else's life nowadays. And I feel, Lingard, even though he's not a great player on the pitch, him expressing his, inner character and in his kind of vibe on social media in a sense, I've got no problem with it. So, Draughty, I'm sorry, I like it, mate.
Maybe he could become a cheerleader on the side then, because like you said, he's not that good on the pitch, but maybe he can just dance up and down the side and be like Pogba's mascot or something like that. But no, you're right though. You are right. I mean, I can't relate to 16-year-olds. Thank God it's illegal, but it's like there is a market for it, and I'm not saying I'm embracing it, but I do appreciate that some people like it. And there you go. Humza, I've seen you put this in capital letters. Mad Marcus will get very mad with you for this, but I will answer it because people will see it and think it's true about Manolas, who I keep mentioning. Manolas has come out today. He plays Costas Manolas, Roma centre-back. They're playing Inter. He said, I hope I score against Inter so I can shut up these silly rumours that I'm joining Inter in the summer. I've got 2 years left on my contract at Roma and I'm very happy. He's not going to. He might go to Inter, but there's nothing agreed, and he's there for Manchester United if they want to sign him. I hope we play Roma in the Cup, by the way, the Europa League, because I want everyone to see how good he is. I'm not saying we're going to get him, but I like him. And secondly, I just want to say, because he reminded me about Drawty. Obviously, Drawty sorts the studio out. I was watching myself there, admiring myself while Sander was talking, and I don't want to leave this studio. I don't ever want... I mean, we're going to have to. The next show, we can't have Man United 3-2 up there. We can't have the cup on the background or on the desk. But I just love this studio. It's just such a nice thing. And it makes me feel a little bit sad that we won't be able to be in it for any longer than tonight. But, yes. On Mourinho, I want to go back to that first point you made because it's a good one. Saying that it'd be stupid if he doesn't realise the problems with fatigue. I suppose the problem when you were saying that is that, well, we've got Bournemouth on Sunday. We'll have to play the first team on that. Then we've got an away game in Russia against Rostov. He'll have to play the first team in that. Then 3 days later, we've got Chelsea in the Cup. You'd imagine he'll play the first team in that. Then 3 days later, we've got the second leg against Rostov, where we might need to win that, so he's going to play the first team in that. Then 3 days after that, we've got Middlesbrough away in the Premier League, we need to win. Who's going to have to play the first team in that? So it's like the opportunities, I think, to use the squad and freshen things up were probably Wednesday night when we're 3-0 up already, and probably last weekend against Blackburn in the Cup, and he refused to do that. So it is interesting. And just before you come back on that, Xander, Mourinho was asked about the Europa League draw against Rostov, and while I think it's a good one, and a lot of people do, he did say it's a terrible draw. They're a very good side, and we've got to travel really far.
Well, yeah. So that obviously then signifies the fact that he's gonna put out a strong team against them. But for me, Fosu Mensah's good enough to play against Bournemouth. I know he won't do it, and I know it's a big thing to trust him against. When it's a vital match. But for me, stick him at right back, or maybe not right back because he's been Valencia's playing great at the moment, even though he didn't play so well today. Or maybe stick him in for the last kind of half an hour. And people forget we've got Bastian Schweinsteiger who can go instead of Carrick. Fellaini, okay, he does a job. You can use him instead of Mata in terms of using him at number 10. Rashford up front, Martial on the left, and so we have got a big squad. And I think we're not playing City, Chelsea, and Tottenham in the next few days. We're playing Bournemouth, Rostov, and Middlesbrough, whatever it is, right? So even though it is coming thick and fast, I still feel there's a place to use the squad. Yeah.
No, good point, Sander. Thanks for calling in as ever. I know a lot of people enjoy it, and we'll get you on again soon.
Cheers, Mark.
Cheers, Sander. Thank you. Sander was meant to be doing the match watch along today, just for anybody who's wondering about that. However, I already had Mad Marcus on, and we have, I cannot neglect the live comments. This is what this show is all about. It's a fan community show, and the live comments are really important. And I've been doing watch-alongs for a year now, and it's all right to sit and talk to people, and I enjoy that. But I've got to be honest, I enjoy listening, interacting with the live comments. So, But Sander is very good. I do like Sander. Rostov is a good team, says X-Bro Neck. Mark, who would you be your starting 11 in Europa League? Says Shaka Phillips. I was thinking about that with Xander. To be honest, I'm not in the mood to be negative, and I really am not. I know there's a lot of people saying that Pogba was rubbish today, and I'm not going to go individual here. What I would say is that, obviously, ideally, you want to win a cup final by playing really good football so that the rest of the world can go, they're a good side. But you could have played really good football today and lost it. And we didn't play good football today and we won it. And I'll take that any day of the week because it's important. I'm going to read Stephen Hayes' comment in a minute because he has contributed. So it's easy to be a little bit negative and say, Pogba wasn't great, but, that's the baseless bitterness of the tweets that you'll probably read on Twitter and the post on Facebook about, £90 million on Pogba, what a waste of money. Well, yeah, we've just won we've just won a title, haven't we? So we're winning playing badly, and there's never anything wrong with that. So, but in relation to the squad, let me come back to that because there's I've got these will go off the screen if I don't read them. So Stephen Hayes contributed a £5 through the super chat. Thanks for that, Stephen. He said he could do a lap of Old Trafford wearing nothing but a strategically placed courgette for all I care. But when playing often and playing well, I don't know who he's on about. But for all I care, I don't know who he's on about there, to be honest. I'm sorry, Stephen, I've missed that. And Doc H has contributed to the channel. He says, I think GZ with 70k subs, keep up the good work. This channel is a lot better than FTD. I love your passion for United, Mark. I know who you're talking about there. I have to read your comment out when you contribute. So, I think I love the fact that you like the channel. And in relation to others, they are what they are, and we all do our own thing, don't we? Going back to Mo Utd says Bailey's been poor for a few games. I'm worried. Please discuss this. So, how are we going to mix this team up over the next few games is a really, really relevant point. I don't see the opportunity to sort of go down the route of. I know we discussed it maybe 6 weeks ago. We should have a team for the Europa League and we should have a team for the Premier League. I think that horse has bolted now. We're not going to be able to do that. What we're going to do and what we should do is try and mix up one or two players a game to give people rests. Now, Sir Alex Ferguson used to do this quite well when we were in the Champions League in the latter stages. We might play a Champions League game on the Wednesday, and then on the Sunday or the Saturday, we might be home to somebody like a Barnsley or an Everton, and we would pick 8 of the first team and put 3 of the sort of subs in. So we have players like, he likes Ashley Young. Whether I do or not is irrelevant. Obviously, he's got Ashley Young, Fellaini, Schweinsteiger. He needs to use him a little bit more. Luke Shaw hopefully will come in. Lingard. The problem is when you replace a Pogba for a Fellaini or a Mata for a Lingard, are they good enough? Are they good enough? Because I watched the game today and I thought at times when certain players are injured and certain players aren't on it, like Pogba wasn't on it and Mkhitaryan wasn't there, Martial wasn't on it, we're very reliant on hard work and team unity. And at some point we could come unstuck. But on the other hand, you saw it when we won it. There is such team unity, like I say, within that squad that anything is possible. And if I was a betting man, I would say we're not going to win the FA Cup, the Europa League, and top 4. But if we do, we're gonna enjoy every step of the way, and I'm enjoying it. For me, I'm just taking it every step at the time at the moment. We won the cup today. I do agree with Xander that it was never going to be easy, but I never contemplated losing it. So arrogant or not, I never contemplated losing it, and I love the fact that we won it late on. I think if you're a club like Liverpool or Arsenal and you win a game like that, you don't shut up about it for 20 years. But we're so used to that happening. It doesn't take away from how brilliant it is for it to happen, but you almost expect it with United, and it was great. But we go again now, and so as I said, Bournemouth next Saturday lunchtime. And then you've got the FC Rostov, the Chelsea away game, and the Middlesbrough game. If somebody's going to say to me, you're going to lose one of those games, whether it be a league game, the Europa League collectively, or the FA Cup, and as much as it pains me because I want to go back to Wembley and I want to win the FA Cup again, I would sacrifice the FA Cup. It's got to be Premier League and the top 4 in the Premier League and the Europa League. They've got to be the priorities. And let's not forget, even if we beat Chelsea away, which is a very hard game, there's a lot of good teams left in the FA Cup, with City still in it, Arsenal still in it, Spurs still in it. So even if you beat Chelsea, you're probably going to have to play a tough semi-final in April and then a final in May. And it's like, how much is in the tank? There isn't an infinite amount of petrol in the tank when it comes to footballers and how much they can play. And you need to, it's a very good analogy. Well done, Mark. It's how much petrol we use in that tank. Because if we just go all out and put the foot on the floor, if you put the foot, it's like driving a car. This is a brilliant analogy. If you put your foot down and just go, right, we're going for everything, you'll whiz through things, you'll smack a load of things out of the way, but then the petrol starts to run out and you'll slow down and you slow down, and the finish line in May, you'll probably slow down mid-April, and then it just collapses. So we've got to be careful with that petrol. And each footballer we've got at Manchester United has got their own petrol tank and their own car. So like Herrera, he had a lot of energy today because he didn't play midweek. But Pogba looked fatigued, and as did a couple of others. So they've got a week off now, which is great. They've got 2 days off. They'll be back in training on Wednesday. That's good. By the time Bournemouth on Saturday lunchtime comes around, that's a good break. You can play your first team. The next game isn't until Thursday, so that's another 5 days break. That's great. Then you hit a problem, because then you've got Thursday to Monday. That's quite a quick turnaround. Then you've got Monday to Thursday. Then you've got Thursday to Sunday. That's the key. The 2 Rostov games, Chelsea in the Cup and Middlesbrough away. Europa League and Middlesbrough, and then Chelsea's third for me out of those. Somebody else has just won 50 quid on the Zlatan thing, so I hope you're happy with that. City will be out to Huddersfield, says Rude 9 the Master. How about those comebacks from Barcelona and Real Madrid, says Google. I haven't kept an eye on any European stuff. I'll catch up later. Paul says we should use Schweinsteiger in Europe. I mean, Schweinsteiger, when he's been used, has been really good, but he just doesn't seem to want to use him. I think we will lose to it in the FA Cup, unfortunately, says St Colombo. If we get knocked out in the FA Cup to Chelsea away from home, there's no shame in that. The good thing about that for Manchester United is that Mourinho is not going to want to go to Chelsea and get battered again. He isn't. It's a pride thing, and their mercenary fans who love him are going to be turning on him again. So he's not going to want that to happen. So we are going to go there and give it a go. But you know what? Sod it. Bring it on. Bring it all on. Let's see what can happen. The only concern is fatigue and injuries. But let's go and have a go. I've got Rooney, Bailly, people like that. I mean, I never mentioned Rooney. He's not a first-team player. He's another squad player. So, somebody like that can be massive in the next few months. Mata, not at the races today, no, but his grandfather died, didn't he, yesterday? So, yeah. Martial, not really at the races, but he did have a couple of good runs, and he did set up the goal because it was his cutting inside, retaining the ball, pass out wide to Herrera, and Herrera puts the cross in for us to win it. So, contributions. And I was quite encouraged by the fact that Mourinho didn't take Martial off today and stuck with him. Football Highlights TV says he keeps on subscribing and liking the video, then it lags out and I'm not subbed and not liked. That's weird. I don't know what that's all about, pal. We're nearly at 70,500 actually. We're only 400 off. Sorry, only 4 subscribers off. So if there is anybody watching who's not a subscriber of the United Stand, please click the subscribe button and we'll go over 70,500 tonight, which is great. I mean, 70,000 is great. I don't want to dwell on that because we like a bit like United in the Cup. What we're going for now is we want to have more subscribers than the actual attendance of Old Trafford would be nice. But it's going great. We've got lots of ideas. I must just remind you, while I've got a lot of people watching, Skype Goldbridge on a Monday night. I mean, I know we've had people calling in tonight, but I wouldn't call this Skype Goldbridge because obviously Skype Goldbridge is when you Skype in and we get people on. We normally get about 10 people on a show. You come in, you dictate the show. That will be on tomorrow night. But it will not be on the United Stand channel because we've got something that's coming out on the United Stand. It's a pre-record at 4 o'clock tomorrow for you. So we don't like to upload 2 things on the same day. So Skype Goldbridge will be on tomorrow night at 8:30, but it won't be on the United Stand channel. It'll be on the Mark Goldbridge channel, which fits in quite nicely because it's Skype Goldbridge. So it'll be on the Mark Goldbridge channel tomorrow night at 8:30. If you've not subscribed to that channel, I've put a link in the video description for you, so you can just go over there, click on it now and subscribe, or just go to the Mark Goldbridge channel tomorrow at 8:30 and I will tweet it out off the main account. But we've got something else coming up for you tomorrow afternoon. Jesse Lingard may not be good enough, but give the lad some credit, says Tyrone Williams. I didn't realise that I hadn't. Mark, you're the man, says Baju. So many salty Scousers, can't wait to watch one of them get punched up tonight, says Daniel Sheehan. Any bottlers on tonight? Yes. Gunners, Spurs, Scouse, Money City. No, can't see anything, Jonathan. Do you think United will win the FA Cup and the Europa League, says Shane Rooney. I mean, of course, the Europa. For those who weren't watching the watch along before, we were asked this question, which is quite a good one. What would you prefer, League Cup and the Europa League, or, and it doesn't matter now because we've won the League Cup, FA Cup and top four? So I'd said Europa League and League Cup anyway, and a lot of people did. The trouble with the Europa League is that it's a bit like Manchester United. It's winning it at the very death, because if we don't get top four, we'll know about that by probably May, late April time. And that's the Champions League gone from the league. But to win the Europa League, we're not going to know all the way till the end of the May and the final whistle of that. So it's a bit like Liverpool last year. They blew top four and they put all their eggs into the top basket of getting the Champions League through the Europa League, and they blew it. So it is a nerve. I mean, I would like to get top four in the Europa League because you've got two shots at what matters, and we've got to be in the Champions League next year. We've got to be in the Champions League next year. And the trouble with cup competition on the Europa League is, imagine we get to the semi-finals and we play, I don't know, Roma or Lyon or somebody decent, and it's quite tight, and the second leg is in Roma, and we've got a 2-1 lead, but they've got an away goal, and in the first half you get a dodgy ref and he sends Herrera off, and then suddenly you're knocked out because of a dodgy ref. There's no comeback then. We've blown top four in the Premier League. We're out of the Europa League. We've got another year. Well, we're back in the Europa League next year. So I want to win the Europa League. I'm loving being in Europe, and I've always been quite derogatory about the Europa League, but it's the first time United have really took it seriously, and I'm enjoying I love European football, and most of it has been experienced in the Champions League, but I'm loving the Europa League. I want us to stay in it. I like it. But as that being our only hope of the Champions League qualification, it's just risky. Cup football's risky. You're always in the lap of the gods. Like I say, a dodgy refereeing decision, a red card, an injury, and you can be out of a tournament. Where we are at the moment, what are we off top four at the moment? I know Spurs won today, but I think we're still only a couple of points off top four. We've got favourable fixtures coming up. We can get top four. We won't do it, but we could almost go, not bothered about the Europa League, playing the reserves, not bothered about the FA Cup, playing the reserves. I'm keeping everybody match fit and sharp, like Southampton did today, for the priority, which is top four in the league. But we're not going to do that. But I don't think we will. I'm going to be positive. I just don't want to be in the situation in late May where the season's over and we look back and we go, we really should have prioritised one of them to get Champions League, because now all we've got is the League Cup. But that would be negative to think like that, and there's no reason to be like that. Lynn Hall says it's hard to rest Herrera because we lack quality midfield players. We must use Bastian more, and I think we should play Fosu Mensah, but Mourinho just won't give it a try. Herrera's worn out. I mean, at least they've got a week off now. That is good. No midweek game, and we definitely need it. Memphis scored 2 and assisted 1 today, says Dragon Gaming. 1? Yeah, but who are they playing? Calais? I mean, it's the French league. It's not great. There's some good teams in the French league, but Monaco, good team. Absolute bottlers. I mean, how did they lose to Man City? So I refuse to think that the French league's any good. And we battered Saint-Etienne. They couldn't even score against us. And they're 5th in that league. Tyrone Williams doesn't like the Europa League, but it's a way to get Champions League football, yeah. Sabusi Keith Monfu says, should we sign Gabbiadini from Southampton? I think that's a bit of a... He's a good player. I'd not really seen anything until today. He's a good player. Should we sign him on one performance? Of course we shouldn't. It's a bit like, Liverpool will go and sign him. They sign Southampton players. I like Redmond. I'd already said before the game that I like Redmond. I've seen him a bit at Norwich, and I think he was at Birmingham City, actually. I'm sure I've seen him live. And I'm not a Birmingham City fan, by the way. I live in the Midlands, so I occasionally... I will go and watch West Brom or Villa or Birmingham City or even Solihull Moors, who are in the non-league. So, but he's a good player. He's a good player. Redmond is a good player, and I do like him. The thing about Redmond is he's better than Lingard. But Lingard came through the youth system, so we have to stick by him. Marco's made a contribution through the Super Chat option. Thank you for that, Marco. And he says, hi, Mark. Nice show as always. Love from Denmark. Get comment. Oh, you know what? Sod it. We're enjoying it. We're having a nice night. It's the last night. I'm sad about this. This is the last show we'll be able to do in this fantastically designed set that Drawty sorted for us with the League Cup and everything. Hopefully we'll do an Europa League one and an FA Cup one. We won't do a 4th place one if we finish 4th, because you can't get that trophy off Arsenal. It's a make-believe one. But get commenting. Let us know where you're all watching from. I know I do it on the watch along. Let's bring it to the Sunday night show. Comment on there. Let us know where you're watching from, and then we can just share a bit of the United Stand community, and everyone can know where everyone's watching from. Irish Red Devil, Mark, are you still doing the movie review on your channel? I will do. I just haven't got a lot of time at the moment. It's all hands to the pump with the football at the moment, but I will do. Yeah, I will do some more stuff. I enjoyed doing the FIFA thing last night. If you watched the FIFA tactics preview last night, I did it for the Manchester United versus Southampton game, and wasn't dissimilar to what actually happened. If anybody saw it, early goal for United. Southampton got a goal back in the second half, dominated. And De Gea was brilliant. And then in the last minute, Zlatan won it. So it wasn't that different. I've got another contribution here from Nicholas Anderson. He's contributed £5. Thanks, Nicholas. And he says, amazing final. I've just travelled back to Southampton for university and have seen so many sad Saints fans. Love it. If you're a Southampton fan, bad luck. But no, luck's nothing to do with it. You played well. You gave a good account of yourself. But this is the difference between playing good football and winning football matches. And we won it, and we won it fair and square. There can be no complaints. Jonathan Royston Forward says Redmond's better than Sterling. I do like Redmond. St Columbo giving a shout out to Jorty. Yeah, he is very, very good. Okay, and people have started to tell me where they're watching from. So we've got Samuel in Jamaica, Tony Martial in Manchester. I wonder if it's the real one. RJS Gaming Ireland, big out. Where's my badge? Big out for Ireland. I'm doing that before. I lived there for 3 years. I love it. Like I say, I'm still hoping that people would take up the hint and start up a Mark Goldbridge fan club, and I'll come over and do little talks every 3 times a year in Dublin. Brilliant. In fact, Nathan Alinio Derman, Dublin, Ireland, in Donamead area. Brilliant. GTF Mbalati is South Africa. Sanders watching from the toilet, changing his undies. At Wembley tonight, says Shicio. And what position do Man United need to sign the most, says Igu Penguin. Good question. England, Leeds for Paul Jaruga, Dirty Leeds. Chad Sproul is London. North Wales, Oliver Coates. Birmingham, Indy Tagger. We'll probably bump into each other one day. Champen Herbs, Denmark. Chris from Jamaica. California. Glasgow from William Coates. Blackpool from Wilf. And I think I've just missed somebody contributing to the channel there. I cannot miss those. It's Ryan Allen with $2. He says, glass of red wine in Texas to celebrate. Sounds great. Of course, a lot of you are in places where you get far better weather than us. Jerry Keller has 90. He's from Cork in Ireland, the birthplace of United legends, Roy Keane and Dennis Irwin. I thought I saw a comment about Neve Caldwell asking about hurling or Gaelic football. No, I've never played them. Hurling's like whacking sticks and a ball. I don't like that at all. Dublin says Irish Red Devil. And okay. Oh yes, I really see what you're on about. So yeah, what position do you think United need to sign most of all? Well, we'll leave it to the master, Mourinho. But I don't know. Do we need a centre back? I mean, I've sort of left it to the end by mistake. Because I do read the live comments before we go live, and I'll normally just not contribute on the con there, and I'll just read what people are saying. And people was, we think it was George Kyle. I'm going to out him. He said, "Why does Mark like Smalling so much? It's so infuriating. It's like Mourinho's obsession with Fellaini." And you know what? I don't like Fellaini. I don't really think he should be anywhere near Manchester United. I'm quite open about it. I don't care if he scores winning goals. I will celebrate them, be very happy, but I don't rate him. And I did worry a little bit when he was brought on to shore up the shop for the last 4 minutes tonight. But if my love of Smalling, and I wouldn't call it love, I just like Smalling, is in that category, it makes me feel a bit worried, really, because even today, I don't think the back four were great today, but one thing Smalling does that Rojo and Jones and even Bay aren't as good at, Smalling's very good in the air. And I've been on about it all season, that we're no threat from corners, we're quite weak at defending crosses, and Smalling makes us better in the air. And I like that. I like a dominant centre-back. And I wouldn't say he's dominant in the way that Vidic was, because he was just unbelievable. But we do need somebody decent in the air, and Smalling gives us that option. And I think that's why Mourinho plays him, because he gives us that something that we've been missing all season, and that is somebody who's good in the air. And also, I think he's working back from... his confidence has been knocked. But if Mourinho can turn Phil Jones and Rojo into defenders, then of course he can turn somebody who's better than them into a very good defender. Mad Marcus has just contributed £10 to the show. Love from Marcus's mum, because I love the channel and the fans. Well, thank you very much to Marcus's mum, but you don't need to contribute to the channel when you do so much for it. I'll have to get a bunch of flowers. I think it's Marcus anyway, not his mum. But thanks very much for that. Smalling runs like a chicken, says Tony Martial. Lynn Hall says we need 2 centre-backs. And Mark Goldbridge, when's your next film TV series review? When I get time. It's all about the football at the moment. Hamza Mohammed, potential signings. Kessie says he wants Manchester United move. Griezmann. If you don't know anything about Franck Kessie at Atalanta, he will be part of our show tomorrow, which is going to go up on the United Stand channel at about 4 o'clock. We'll also be discussing more about this De Gea swap deal that is building momentum. That'll be 4 o'clock tomorrow. And then, obviously, Skype Goldbridge will not be on the United Stand tomorrow. It'll be on the Mark Goldbridge channel. So don't tune into the United Stand and think there's no show at 8:30. There is. It's just on the Mark Goldbridge channel, which is very easy to find. You can either go to the link in the video description below, or you can just search Mark Goldbridge, subscribe, do the bell, you'll get the notification, and it's live tomorrow night at 8:30. And I'm awaiting your calls. Your show. You Skype in, you tell us what you want to talk about. So looking forward to that. Just a very, very, very pleasing day. And like I say, very sad to leave this studio behind, because it's been a really, really enjoyable day. I've enjoyed this more than the FA Cup. Controversial, but the FA Cup is a better trophy, and status-wise, it's nicer to have won. But enjoyment levels, I enjoyed this win more than I did the FA Cup, because the FA Cup, I was always concerned that if we won it, we were going to end up keeping Van Gaal. This is the manager I want winning, and it was an entertaining game. It was an entertaining game. Southampton played very well. 5 goals in the game, winning it like that. Yeah, I really did. I really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed the whole day, and I hope you all have as well, because this is what football's about. And I think Manchester United, regardless of what happens this year, and we are going to fall. Our season's not really going to be defined by ability. It's going to be defined by lethargy, fatigue. It's how much these players can do it with such a relentless fixture pile-up, and it is relentless. I mean, it's relentless in the next 2 weeks before the international break, and then April and May is going to be a bloody nightmare. I looked at it the other day, and if we progress, it's going to be a nightmare. There's so many games, and we've got a backlog of league games now, because the Southampton away game, I wouldn't fancy playing Southampton at the moment, to be honest. Away, we've got them. That's been moved because of the Chelsea game. Obviously, the City game was moved because of today. The longer it goes on, the more games get backlogged. And you know, I've seen this happen before, and we'll all be saying it in May. We'll be saying this should not be allowed to happen. There should be an extension of the league. It doesn't help English clubs at all. But I can see a situation in May where we'll be playing 3 games in like 6 days. We'll play every 2 days. I've seen it happen before. I've seen it happen to Celtic north of the border. I've seen it happen in England. It will happen again. But it's just popped into my head as well that I'm very, very proud of. Mourinho said that it was a massive advantage for Southampton to have 15 days off. When we've played 4 or 5 games in that time. It's like a mini pre-season for them. They could almost come up with a brand new formation and strategy to beat us and drill it in 2 weeks. And Mourinho said that before the game, so that's his issue. But I'm really proud that in the whole time we've been building up to this, whether it was the previews or whatever, we've never mentioned that or used that as an excuse until after the game when we'd won it. And I think, you know, that is typical of Manchester United fans. We've got a different sort of understanding of football. We are fair. We can look at the game today and say, you know, we didn't play very well, but we won it, and that's all that matters. But we've never used that as an excuse. And I think when you look back at it now after the game, it was a big advantage to Southampton to be totally fresh. And we didn't look fresh, but we ground out a result. And I'm very proud of the players. But I'm also very proud of everyone on the United Stand that nobody, and I do read the live comments, brought it up until after the game. So, you know, we've not used that. If that was Liverpool or Arsenal, You know what their fans are like. They'd have been using that, moaning about. I mean, when we played Liverpool in October, and the week before, all week, all they were moaning about was that the referee was somebody from Manchester. Any angle, anything they can moan about, they would come up with an excuse. But we didn't do that. None of us did. So I'm really happy about that. And 15 days off and they still couldn't win, says Maya. Well, you know what? I like Southampton, but I don't feel sorry for them. And we deserve to win it. And we did win it. And it's another trophy. And we march on. And that's what this show has all been about, really. Mourinho demands more. We demand more. We've done it. We park it. We go again. And that's what will happen. Thanks everybody for watching. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed the content. I certainly really enjoy just going live and interacting with the live comments. It's fantastic, and you all have come out with some fantastic stuff as per usual. Reminder: 4 o'clock tomorrow. We've got a pre-record going up on the channel. You should get notified of that anyway, because it won't be a live one. It will just go up at about. I think it's going to go up at 4 o'clock. Hopefully you'll enjoy that. And then at 8:30 tomorrow night, Skype Goldbridge will be going out, but it will be on my channel, Mark Goldbridge. So do get involved. It's Skype Goldbridge on Skype is the name, and we'll be taking calls from 8:30. We'll be live at 8:30. So enjoy the rest of your evening. We are the League Cup champions. It's a nice start to the week. Yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Really enjoyed it. Been a fantastic day. I'll be really sad to leave this studio behind because I've enjoyed it, and that's what football's all about. And we've had some torrid times over the last 3 years, but we're heading back in the right direction. And I certainly don't want this to be the only cup final we win this year.